The final mathematical function I want to show you is the subtotal function. The subtotal function returns a subtotal for a data table or a list that's been filtered. And this function is particularly useful for situations when you have data tables like this that you're going to filter. In this particular table, I have a data table that shows me revenues and units sold by market. And as you can see here, I have some standard functions that are going to give me an average, a count, a max, a min, and a sum. Now some of these functions may be unfamiliar to you, so let's just go through these real quick. The sum function, I clicked on this cell here, and if you look at the formula bar, you'll see sum, and we covered the sum function earlier. This particular function sums E21 through E62, and that gives us a total of 73,662. The min function gives us the minimum of E21 through E62. The max function gives us the maximum number in E21 through E62, and then count gives us the count, and average gives us the average of E21 through E62. So the idea here is that I should be able to filter this particular data table. For example, if I select only the Asia market, and the expectation is these particular formulas or functions should change. Well, as you can see, the results didn't change. It still shows me at the sum of 73,662, a min of 868, and so on and so forth. It's only 6 lines of data here, and I can see just by eyeballing this that the sum of the units sold is a little over 6,000 units. Well, why is this still showing up as 73,662? Well, the reason is that most functions look at the entire data set whether the cells are visible or not visible, that is, filtered or not filtered. So the sum of E21 through E62 is still 73,662. What I'll need is a function that only looks at visible cells, and that's what the subtotal function does. The subtotal function allows me to get the accurate value. As you can see here, I have the accurate value, 6,850 units, and that's about right. So let's take a look at the formula that's in this cell. I'm going to click the cell and go up here. And as you can see, I enter the function name, subtotal, open parentheses, and then I enter in a 9. Now what's that 9? That 9 is a function number. I pulled this table right out of Excel's help, and you'll see here that the subtotal function does different things based on a function number that you pass it. 9 happens to be sum. So basically passing a 9 to the subtotal function says I want to sum the values that I reference. If I wanted to average the values that I reference, I would pass it a 1. And if I click on this particular cell here, you'll see that this particular cell holds a formula that says subtotal, function 1, which is average, and give me the average of E21 through E62. Now because of the subtotal function, I'm only getting the average of the visible cells.